Good morning, TikTok. Look at the state of this wall. Up here is before, and it's not visible, but when you touch that, it has been, I don't know what, filled or plastered so lumpy that it's like elephant skin. It's ripply. Down here you can see the high and the low spots where I've sanded it. I think they did it with like filler, but not normal filler. Possibly they did it sort of with a spatula or a spade with some plaster, and they treated it like filler and sort of put it on in dibs and dabs. But it was so lumpy. This is all the high and the low spots, and that is actually too smooth now. It's got a sheen to it, so I'm gonna have to rough it up a bit now to get the paint to stick. Most painters, if they're going to go to this level of sanding, they would get a Mirka setup or a Festool setup, and I've looked at it, it's at least £1,000 plus all the sandpaper. So this is my workaround, my poor man's version. Evolution drywall sander. I'm by no way recommending this tool, but I'll show you the setup I've got. And it goes into a bag, which I meant to just chuck on your shoulder, and apparently that tool is dustless. Now it's not. So you open the bag and you connect your vacuum, and what I've done is I've put the cyclone attachment on it, because what I'm worried about is that if that just goes straight into the vacuum, it's just going to clog up the filter straight away, or it's going to go through the filter because it's so fine, and then it'll come out the exhaust. So I put the exhaust near the window for any dust that does get through. I've upgraded the filter to a fine filter as well, and I've got a cyclone attachment, so you can see all the dust is in there. I'll turn it on and you can see it going round. So that is my poor man's version. Cost, the sander was £100. The actual sandpaper we got 3 boxes of different grade sandpaper. They were £1 a sheet, 30 sheets in each one. So £100 for the sander and £100 on sandpaper. And then you've basically got your normal vacuum hose coming out into the cyclone, and then an additional hose which goes into the bag. And annoyingly, you can't really change that fitting on this particular Evolution one. I wanted that just to go straight to that out of the bag, but that means cutting the bag off, and then I can't ever use the bag again, so I thought I'd just leave it on there. So I have got a lot of hoses there, but it worked a treat. It's a bit of faff to set it all up, you know. Like I said, I'm not recommending this tool by any means. I would love to have a whole Mirka set up, you know, with the lamps and everything, rather than all this malarkey round the room. But it works, and on problem walls like this, it's a shame you can't feel that. That is literally so smooth. On problem walls like this, it solves it. The only other solution was I could plaster it, and I can plaster, but when you're painting and decorating a room, and the room's ready to go, how am I going to plaster that wall? It's going to take me a week to get it to dry. I don't mean a week to plaster it. For it to dry, ready to paint, it'd be a week. Then you've got all the mess and the upheaval of that, you know. So I would recommend, if you want a cheap version, just for occasional use, get any sort of drywall sander, a cheap one, with a cyclone, to the vac, with the vac pointing out the window, and upgrade your filter on your vac. Clean it regularly and upgrade it to the finest filter you can get, and you will get the results. It's just a little bit more time. Hope that helps.